What's up, guys? Manic here with Manic Conspiracies. Today we're going to be talking about the famous Jack Froese emails. I probably butchered the name as always. Oh well, I'm so sorry. So basically, we're going to be talking about these mysterious emails that got sent from the dead because he died. For thousands of years, the human race has asked if there's something such as an afterlife. The story of Jack Froese suggests that there is. Plenty of stories abound with regards to visions of heaven or hell, or meeting with long-departed ancestors or relatives. Messages from murder victims with details of the crime that took their life. One of the most convincing examples of possible messages from the afterlife is the story of Pennsylvanian Jack Froese. In June of 2011, Froese suffered a fatal arrhythmia that left all of his friends and family devastated by his passing. He was just 32 years old. The first email, 5 months on, and the grieving process began to slow down until suddenly he receives a series of emails sent from Froese's email account. And this was a good friend. This was Tim Hart. Tim Hart considered himself to be among Froese's closest friends and became the target of one of the first emails sent, titled "I'm Watching." This email outlined a conversation the pair shared several months before Froese's sudden passing. The short email reads as follows: "Did you hear me? I'm at your house. Clean your fucking attic." Hart did admit to feeling concerned when he initially read the email. He almost felt the color drain from his cheeks. During an interview conducted by the BBC, he also revealed that he replied to it but never received an answer. Hart firmly believes that there was very little chance that anyone outside of the pair would know of the private conversation between the best friends. It would appear unlikely that neither would really share the strange experience to a third or even fourth party. And basically, the coincidence is that the conversation they had was Jack saying how he needed to clean his house and clean the attic. Another email was Tim Hart was not alone in receiving an email from Froese. Jimmy McGraw was Froese's cousin and was also a recipient of an email from the same account. This time the message was even stranger and potentially more unsettling. After Froese's death, McGraw suffered a broken ankle that became the basis of this email message. The message read, "Hey Jim, how you doing? I knew you were going to break your ankle. Tried to warn you. Gotta be careful." While Tim Hart was less than enthused with the email he received, Jimmy was much more so. Far from considering it as some kind of ill omen, McGraw took it in a much more positive manner. He wanted to believe that his cousin was still keeping an eye open on his behalf, but concedes that the chances that Froese sent the email was slim. McGraw felt that it encouraged him to move on with his life. On the whole, it appeared to be a sincere message and nothing like the banter sent previously. The big question here is who's sending these emails. None of Jack Froese's friends believe anyone other than Jack knew the password to his email account. Additionally, there is no indication of a hacked account. One logical answer is a service called Dead Man Switch. This site allows users to send emails on a regular basis after death occurs. Pre-written emails are sent at regular intervals to specified email addresses. I'm going to pause it here because the thing I want to say, though, is this Dead Man Switch, you can make these emails, but Jack Froese would have had to see that his friend was going to break his ankle after he died. So that's what freaks me out, and that's what makes me think that that's not part of it. So there are problems with this possible solution, though. Nobody knows for certain whether or not Froese actually signed up for the service. His death was a sudden one, and chances are that Froese did not anticipate it and cater for his passing. Even if he did, then he would have had to write it himself. But how could he have possibly known that weeks after his unforeseen passing that his own cousin would break his ankle? Are these really messages behind the grave? And that's the biggest question here is, where did these emails come from? So some people say, okay, they came from the afterlife. This is proof that there is an afterlife, that ghosts exist. I do think it's interesting that his best friend, Tim Hart, replied to the email and never got a response. I feel like if it was a hacker, they would have responded, or if it was a hacker, it would have been, getting different things. It wouldn't have been that. I mean, it was just 2 emails like that were just short, but also something that would make the recipients of the emails be like, oh, wow, only Jack would know that. So I do think it's very, very odd. Do I think that it's proof of an afterlife? I don't know. I think that it's proof of supernatural and paranormal things, most definitely. I think that, Jack, he probably did. I mean, we all know that if you research ghosts, electronics, they love them electronics, So I feel like maybe it was Jack, and maybe maybe that was his closure. It was a sudden death. He was so young at only 32. Maybe that was his closure of saying, I died so suddenly I didn't get to say goodbye to the 2 people I was closest to. So that's just my thoughts. I personally do think it came from Jack. I don't think it came from that dead man's site, because you would have had to sign up, and it was suddenly. He didn't foresee his death coming, just like he couldn't foresee, unless he was, unless he could see, that his cousin was going to break his ankle. So to me, this personally seems like legit, and it personally seems like Jack Froese sent these emails from the grave. Go ahead and look into this yourself. There's videos of the cousin and the best friend actually talking about it. But I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts. As always, like and subscribe, and let me know down in the comments, what do you guys think? Do you guys think this is proof of an afterlife? Do you think that this Jack Froese, actually sent these emails from the grave, or do you think maybe he got hacked and it was just some stupid little prank? Let me know down in the comments, and as always, like and subscribe, because I post videos all the time. So peace out, guys.